Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist, the weekly video where we talk about games because that's a fun thing to do. You can't stop us, you're not our mum. Because it's all Christmassy and the end of the year and everyone basically stopped working 2 weeks ago, we decided to get together, that's right, all 6 of us, and each pick our individual game of the year for 2018. This is all very personal, obviously, so we take no collective responsibility for opinions that are stupid. I'm up first with a choice that may surprise you. So, my game of the year for 2018.
We have a drum roll. It feels big, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not just going to say the name. You've sort of ruined it now.
Oh.
I was going to say first to preface.
Which one?
Preface. I don't think this is the best game of the year, but it is my favourite game of the year.
Right.
And that would be the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I was thinking about this for a long time. Like, I could have said Red Dead 2, I could have said Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, I could have said many games. But none of them have just given me just the pure joy of playing games that Spyro Reignited trilogy gave me. And I've still only played the first one. Like, I've still got 2 and 3 to go, but just playing Spyro the Dragon on PS4, I just had great fun the entire way through, apart from the flying levels.
I was going to say, can I point out
apart from
with you?
apart from the flying levels and all of the really hard glidey bits.
Yeah, all those jumps.
Maybe it's not my game. No, but it is. It was like the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane trilogy. It was just a perfect, like, polygon for polygon recreation of.
It literally wasn't a polygon for polygon recreation. That's the point.
With extra polygon.
Those original polygons were in there, but then they added millions
more. Like,
yeah.
It looked exactly like the original game, but more beautiful. Like, everything was where I remembered it. It was the first game I ever 120%ed back when I was. Back when I was a kid, and I did the same thing this time, and it was one of the most enjoyable 8 hours of video gaming I've had this year by a long time. Just immediate fun, just you get that. It really did bring back the nostalgia, like, perfectly, and just charging around after those thieves, freeing the dragons, working out in the later levels how you get to all those hard to reach platforms. Just brilliant sort of puzzly bits where you get to that stage where you're thinking, man, that's impossible to get to that ledge, that is impossible, and then you see how you do it and you string like 4 supercharges together and you nail it and you fly through the air.
Basically the whole of
Treetops. It's a brilliant level, and it really made me think that Spyro was really ahead of its time when it first came out as well, because back then most games were very linear, especially platforming games like that. Very linear, you go through the level, you jump over all the obstacles and you finish the level, whereas Spyro is a lot more open. There's a lot more room for exploration in it. And yeah, Treetops is, I think, one of the best designed platform levels I've ever played in any platform game. It's so good, that level. And yeah, it's just lovely, pure, innocent fun, the whole thing. And it's quite easy as well. And I love an easy game, as everyone knows. All the bosses in that game, I loved beating the bosses in that game because they don't do anything. You just flame them and they die. And it just makes me feel good about myself. And I got a platinum trophy on it.
My game of the year. I know you've all been really wanting to know this, and I'm ready to tell you soon. But first a tease. No, my game of the year. Now hold on to your butts here. It's a PSVR game.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
I know what it is.
It's Astrobot Rescue Mission.
I did think you might have said Beat Saber.
I thought you might have got Beat Saber.
Beat Saber blew me away, but I think Astrobot, it just has. Beat Saber's does basically one thing amazingly well, which is slicing boxes, and it feels incredible, and it's that's great, and I love that. But Astrobot Rescue Mission is just. Mwah. It's just absolutely unbelievably good. I chef kiss.
Your entry is an emoji.
Yeah, that's right.
You said it was the best platform game you've ever played.
I stand by it.
Still true.
I stand by it, and I also admit I haven't played every platform game ever. Okay, but the big ones I have played, and this is the best one. It's amazing. It's a real shame because, as with all PSVR games, as we always say, you really have to play it to fully understand why it's so good. But you really do. It puts you in the world with intent. Like, it's part of the mechanics is that you are in the world. It's a really fun game. It's made by the people who made the Playroom and Playroom VR, and they're basically kind of like Sony's crack team of developers whose job it is to understand the new hardware incredibly well and make something to kind of show off to the world, like, here's what you can do with this new hardware. This is why we've got, gyros in DualShocks and things. Like, this is why, because you can do this amazing stuff with it. And for that reason, like, just the game feel in Astro Bot Rescue Mission is just second to none. Every aspect of it is just absolutely amazing because they understand, like, just what the VR headset can do, and what the DualShock can do, and put those things together. Like, it's not just, a lot of games tend to focus on one or the other. It's just completely joyous. It's got the best water physics, Rob. You will. I can't tell you how much you'll love this level for more reasons than just that there's water. It's excellent. I might just go and load it up now so you can. I'm just fed up of you not having a go. It's great. It's colourful. It's fun. It's funny. It's just perfect, and it's going to be the game I would most likely platinum should I ever get a platinum. Lots of caveats and asterisks at the end of that, but because I am so happy to be in it. For ages, I just happily exist in that world. It's lovely. It's not like the real world, which is scary. Sometimes rains. So yeah, Astro Bot Rescue Mission. My unlikely, perhaps, hero of the year.
So my game of the year is
Patient gamer.
Is
Patience.
no drum roll. So great. It's Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Of course.
A worthy winner.
What a game. What an amazing game. What a huge, amazing game.
Have you finished it?
No, I haven't finished it.
That's okay.
No.
That's okay.
It's so big. And I'll tell you what I liken it to. You know when you have like a delicious milkshake or a really nice drink with a straw and you're sipping away at it, and then you get to the end of the drink and you go for a sip and it goes and it's just air, and there's a little moment of disappointment when you go, I just wanted one more sip.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted, just one more little sip. And in Odyssey, you'll never get that. There'll always be another sip.
An infinite milkshake.
It's mind-blowingly big, and I've been playing it since it came out, which has been like 3 months now. I've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
It's absolutely huge. In fact, maybe the world is the star of the game, you could say.
What an original.
But no, it's not, because Cassandra is the star of the game.
Yeah.
She's
Unless you don't play
amazing.
with Cassandra, of course, because
And
you could play as a whole other character.
I know that you can play as either Cassandra or Alexios, and they are basically the same person, right? The writing is the same, the dialogue's the same. But you would never know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I play as Cassandra, and her delivery is excellent. Just the way she delivers her lines, and the little side glances she does in cutscenes is amazing. And all the customization on top of that as well. She's just a really good character, probably the best assassin character there's ever been in an Assassin's Creed game. She's really perfect. So you have this amazing character in this amazing, beautiful, detailed world that I will never see all of it. I mean, it blows my mind the attention that these developers have gone to design all these nooks and crannies of this world, and I will see maybe 20% of it at most. Then there's the ocean as well. So you're on this vast ocean. I'm never going to see all of that either. That's huge. You've got this amazing story that I'm getting into now, which is really good. You've got the mercenary system on top of that, which is a game by itself. You've got the cultist system, which again is a whole new other thing.
That blew my mind when that just opened up.
10 hours in, there's this whole new other system I didn't know about before. What's going on? I think exactly.
Milkshakes just change flavour.
The milkshake is layered. I've had the Oreo and ice cream, and now it's banana. I've just changed drink mid-sip. It's brilliant. So there's all these layers to it, and I just can't get enough. And now they've released the DLC, which I want to move on to. I want to move my drink aside and tuck into the dessert, but I can't stop drinking it. And I'm just going to play it forever, and it's brilliant. I just love it.
So my game of the year, as you know, often one of the things I do during the year is not play any games from that year. Yeah. So I've played a lot of games not from this year. One of the games I enjoyed the most was Horizon Zero Dawn, for example, which I platinumed to everybody. I don't know.
Welcome to 2016.
I know, which, as you pointed out earlier on, is actually quite good for me. It's quite up to date. But I also played like Oxenfree. I finished Edith Finch. What I want to say is I did play games this year. Like I was playing games, but the game that I enjoyed the most that was actually released this year was God of War. And I don't know if I can really explain much about it other than like it was God of War. Except it was like open world. I mean the big thing that it did, I was a fan of the old Gods of War. Because of the combat, the brutality of it, and they, they're like Western American developers shot at doing what Japanese developers have been doing for ages, which is like just incredibly fluid, enjoyable combat that you can really get very good at, you can sink really deeply into. That's what those games were. What PlayStation 4 has become about, or PlayStation in general, is like these incredible kind of dramatic experiences where you care for characters. And bringing back God of War, that was always the question, like, yeah, like it's known for doing amazing combat, but like who wants to be just like an angry like muscle? Yeah, exactly. Basically screaming like a car alarm for 10 hours and like killing people. Like that's a tough sell. Nowadays it's like, can we go back to that? And bringing what made the old games good into what makes games now good and what has made PlayStation so strong over the last few years. I'm pulling it off as like a near miracle, and it was both at once. Setting it in an open world, completely reconstructing the game, but making it feel like you were still connecting with the old Kratos and the old God of War games was great. I really enjoyed it. I finished it, and I thought about going back and doing the Valkyries, and then I didn't. So
wise choice.
Too hard even for stubborn Nathan.
Exactly. Yeah. If someone had told me I can't do it, then maybe I'll do it over Christmas.
Nathan's left his milkshake to warm.
I know, yeah. It's frothy.
You'll never beat those Valkyries, Nathan.
Shh, don't do it. Don't tempt me, Frodo.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. Oh, for God's sake. It looks alright as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was alright, yeah. Yeah. Well, I had the sense of scale that the other games got, like the World Snake was amazing. And then, like, I think, a bit of a spoiler. At one point, an enormous giant dies and then just becomes like, his corpse is like a part of the world then, like he's got that ridiculous sense of scale that all the old games.
So fantastic.
Mythology
great.
behind it is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
It's just also so perfectly worked in.
Yeah, the switch from Greek to Norse, like to just pull off all those little changes and make it seem like a new thing, but like still the same as the old thing.
So my game of the year in 2018 has actually already been said. It was, I love it, yes, Rob. Oh no, for it is relating to you. My game of the year was Spyro, but obviously there are two big Spyro lovers in the room present. So the other game I've gone for is one that it was remade basically this year, but it is a game from the past. And
A bit like Spyro.
a bit like Spyro. There's a theme.
Your taste of games.
I know, at the moment, isn't there? But like Nath, I never really play many games like in the year itself. I'm always catching up. So a lot of the games I've played this year that I've considered to be new were in 2017, and I was like, oh, blast. But the one I've chosen for this year is Shadow of the Colossus, which
yes.
I have never played before, and it was always
What a choice.
it was always a sin of mine because I played Eco on the demo and I loved it as a kid, and then I got it on the PS2 and I adore Eco, it's so good. And I've always been like, oh, Shadow of the Colossus, everyone talks about it, everyone says you get really engulfed in it and everything. Oh, I nearly cry at every single Titan that you face. Like, I got it for my birthday and I was just like, yay, finally I can play it again. And I remember I've just been sort of sat there. I haven't finished it yet because I got a bit too emotional over one monster and then I kind of had to take a break.
Yeah.
It was an eel and he was so sweet, and I really bonded with him when I was fighting him as he went up and down in the water. Yeah, he was adorable.
He wasn't nasty.
He was lovely. They're all lovely puddings, and the way he went, just the moment where you're putting the final little stab in the wound bit, and he did some sort of cry. It was like a or something, and he just went down, and maybe that eel was the reason why it's my game of the year, from the sounds of it.
You look a bit teary now.
I know, even thinking about the eel. Don't, I'm actually getting a bit emotional.
Good
But-
water in that game as well, isn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous water, like everything about it, because obviously since I've played it before, it was like the whole thing, you explore the whole world, it's all gorgeous, and it's so much slower paced, like it's not as if you can fast travel. You get on your horse, aggro. I've got really attached to my horse, and I know I probably shouldn't be attached to the horse, because that's a big thing in gaming. I know, I only know that bit, but I don't know the ending. I've got like kind of ideas on the ending, but it's just such an engulfing experience. And
What could go wrong with killing Colossi to raise your girlfriend from the dead?
yeah, exactly.
Based
And
on
you
some voices.
and your best friend's a horse. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? But it's just so good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I still have to get back to it. But the eel,
I think you've got more tears to come, bro.
no,
At
no.
least the eel's dead now, so you don't have to kill him again.
It's when there's like a new game plus,
Yeah.
just the eel over and over
New
again.
eel plus.
Hey.
So my game of the year is a surprise to no one, pretty much, because it is Yakuza 6.
Yakuza games released this year.
I've had a great time the last few
There
years.
were lots, weren't
Yeah, they were two. But I've gone with Yakuza 6. So I discovered the Yakuza series quite late. I didn't play it on PlayStation 2 or even on PlayStation 3 when they all sort of first came out. I had sort of discovered the series with Yakuza 0 and absolutely fallen in love with it. So I played 0, then Kiwami. I skipped 2 because it's just come out. But I actually got a PS3 out to play 3, 4, 5. I even played the zombie spin-off, Dead Souls. And then finishing Yakuza 6, it's you following one protagonist throughout the whole series, and 6 is the end of his journey. So you knew you were building up to the end of this. It's everything you've been through. And unlike, say, Final Fantasy, where every game is different, Yakuza isn't. They are a continuous story. So for someone like me who was just devoured, since I found 0, pretty much every game was released, and then 6 was like on the way out as I was finishing up. So I've just had this like year and a half, 2 years of just finding a video game series for the first time and just being able to devour it. And it is one of the best series I've ever played, and 6 was just the most beautiful ending. It was incredibly emotional. It's full of twists and turns. I got to help run a cat cafe. I was able to go to a gym, which I don't do in real life anymore. Yakuza is serious people doing stupid things, and it's one of the most incredible games, but it's a really emotional ending because it's characters you've been following from the very, very beginning. Brittany Chan.
Mr. Shakedown Man.
No, Mr. Shakedown is only in 0.
You're Rob.
Yeah.
Don't try to get involved.
Don't pretend you've installed one of them once on your PlayStation 4 and then deleted it to make room for something
I
else.
played Yakuza 4 on PS3 and loved it.
Not only are the Yakuza games really fun, but it is just perfect way to end the story. We know that the Yakuza team are working on new games, but this character, Kiryu, who people have known since PlayStation 2, his story is now done. And just seeing how it ends, like him and the clan and the people who've just been in every single game and how they're involved, it definitely my game of the year, even though I'm obviously a Yakuza fan anyway, but...
No.
See, Dave? See? Chef
Wow. Only 2 games this year got the Chef's Kiss award.
Full chef's kiss.
I like it when he goes, boy.
That's another
So do
original
I.
take you've had today.
Wheeler's hot takes are becoming my favourite. Maybe that's a new feature. Just Wheeler's hot
That
takes.
should be on the back of the box.
So there you go, our picks for PlayStation Game of the Year 2018. Get in the comments and tell us your own. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, click the notification bell so you're always bang up to date with the channel, and have a fantastic Christmas and a happy new year.
For the players.